What is up, gang? It is Kevin Tompkins. It is Britt Flint. It is Andrew Cooper. No, it's not lightning round. It is Alarm Fantasy Football. We are here
What?
in live and living color. We're going to be drafting a best Ball Mania 4 team. Coop, Britt, how we doing today?
Good. Full on draft season. Got the Pros with Joe's draft tonight. Did the family draft and a couple others earlier this week. It's on, baby.
Yeah, dude, you know what I'm digging? I'm digging these the big $5,000 entry drafts we've been covering on the Better Sports Network. Those have been fun. But today we're doing a cheaper entry where you can win just as much money. You just got to get a little more lucky. So let me pull that puppy up now. We are off and running. Kev, why don't you tell everybody what we're doing today?
We are going to be doing Best Ball Mania 4. So once we get this screen pulled up here in just a second. So it is half PPR, one quarterback, two running backs, three wide receivers, tight end, flex, no kicker defense or anything like that. But we are in the running for winning $3 million in this playoff chase. And if you have the top scoring team in the regular season up to week 14, it's a cool $1 million.
Oh yeah, and look at some of the names in this chat, dude. We got Kenny Loggins, stole the show. Hugh Jass.
Oh, Hilo's in here.
Okay. You know that guy?
From 1 week season, yeah. Hilo's a big best ball. Definitely a grinder. Definitely got a lot of drafts in his belt.
And then Fuzzy Wuzzles at the last spot. So
yeah. Hilo's
good guy. We were supposed to be doing a family draft, #family, but somebody, and names will not be named on this, somebody messed that up and that draft fired early and we couldn't do it today. So tomorrow we'll be back doing another draft with Fantasy Alarm members from 2 to 3, but we've been doing those every day. So it's good to mix it up with a little big money draft here. I was the one that messed it up, by the way.
Yeah, it's pretty chalky so far. I mean, not a lot of big surprises, which is interesting in a big tournament like this format is.
Chalky Studebaker. Maybe we should do that. Maybe we should do that draft we've been talking about where we just take all the players we hate just to see if, maybe the one thing that's held me back from doing that is what if that team wins? And then we have to explain that like we just picked all the takes we disagree with and that's how we won.
Yeah. The podcast.
I don't think you have to explain anything with $3 million.
That's true. Yeah, you just walk off in the sunset. It would be on stream. There would be a live evidence though of us being like, I hate this guy. Let's take him.
It wouldn't matter. It would not matter. All right, we're up. Who's on the board?
Can we take Nick Chubb? It's AJ Brown, Nick Chubb, CeeDee Lamb, and Garrett Wilson and Saquon Barkley are the options. Or Devontae
I love
Adams.
Chubb.
It's not my team.
It is your team. It is your team. Who would you take of that group, Kev?
I would take Lamb, but hey, diversify. Let's get Nick Chubb.
Well, 2 out of 3. The thing with CeeDee Lamb, like I
agree with it. I capitulated.
We all love CeeDee Lamb. We all do. But I just worry that team might not throw as much. I mean, he's still going to be a high-end wide receiver, but I just don't like the attitude of Mike McCarthy. This whole, we want to win games, blah, blah, blah. I don't care about winning games. I care about fantasy points. I want Kellen Moore back, huck it, chuck it football, not letting the defense rest. Like, that's what I want, dude. I don't want this balanced offense. What the heck? Why would anyone want that?
See, I don't really mind it because they let Dak call plays in the final preseason game. And if they allow him to call his own plays this season, he's still going to huck it.
Sorry to interrupt. Tony Pollard, Jalen Waddle, Chris Olave.
Let's lean into I like Pollard here.
All right. Well, Kev, now you're in, buddy. Now we've taken Nick Chubb and Tony Pollard. Now you are in to paint the board orange. But Britt, I want to go back to you. We had to interrupt to make the pick, but I want to go back to your thoughts there on Dak because I think that is an interesting. If he transcends right to the level of Tom Brady and Peyton Manning and Aaron Rodgers, not saying he's that good, but saying that he's played for that long that he can just start calling the plays of the line. I mean, who cares what the OC wants to do, right, Britt?
Yeah, and I feel like Kellen Moore was kind of an idiotic play caller at times. There were some calls that he made that just dumbfounded not just me, but all of Cowboys fans as a whole. If Dak can go out there and call these plays that allowed Will Grier to throw for over 300 yards, what's going to stop him, especially now that he has a wide receiver 2 on the team and not like Noah Brown and Kavontae Turpin and just body catch brigade out there.
Yeah, the body catch brigade, the tip drill squad that was contributing those picks. That I will say that I have seen clips of that, and you're right, Britt. There were a lot of ones that weren't Dak's fault. So, which is interesting that he said that he's going to throw fewer picks this year. When a lot of them weren't his fault, it's kind of hard to guarantee that. But what are you gonna do?
I don't think it's hard to guarantee at all. I think he knows himself and he knows his skill set and he knows that those weren't his fault. And coming back, I mean, you've got receivers that you trust. If you're calling your own plays, you're definitely not going to throw into coverage as much as Kellen Moore forced him to do. CeeDee Lamb's not going to be double covered all the time. I think that there's a very real likelihood that he cuts down his interceptions by half, to be honest.
Yeah, that's true. This draft bucking the trend a little bit. We've been seeing a lot of quarterbacks going in the second round. Maybe we'll get Mahomes or Hurts or something here at the last pick, but no QB in the second round. Kind of interesting. Do we take a quarterback? If one of the big three gets back to us in this round, we take one, right?
I don't see how you don't, honestly.
Yeah, I doubt they will, but I mean, if one of them's there.
There's someone I'm eyeing here. I'm hoping that falls to us here. Definitely some better opportunity than there has been in the last little while with the end of the third round versus, because we're going to get fallers. We're going to get some of those wide receivers pushed down. We're going to get possibly, all 3 quarterbacks are available. I mean, we have 10 picks and there's still quite a few premium names that we wouldn't see even last month.
Yeah, I'm addicted drafting Davante Adams in the second round. I can't stop doing it. I will say out there, if you can't stop watching these or enjoying these shows, you should get in the game yourself, right? Go over to fantasyalarm.com/underdog, use promo code ALARM and get signed up. They'll match whatever you deposit, 100% of what you deposit up to $100. So throw in 20, they'll give you 20, throw in 100, they'll give you 100. Right. And then you can join us in the Fantasy Alarm Best Ball drafts. We did one today. We're doing one tomorrow at 2 to 3 p.m. Eastern time. And you can also get into this, my goodness, during the middle of my promo code, Lamar Jackson goes as the QB1. Look at that. So anyway, if you want to go in and draft Lamar Jackson as the QB1 ahead of Patrick Mahomes, you can use promo code ALARM and throw your money away just like that. So what do you guys think about that, man?
That's spicy. That's bold.
I've always contended that Lamar Jackson is probably closer to those 3, Mahomes, Allen, Hurts, but to go QB1, maybe he's a little rich. Although I do like that better than taking Calvin Ridley at 207. So, I mean,
Calvin Ridley, I just did the final update on that. And there you go. They're the quarterbacks. Bing, bang, boom. Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes, Jalen Hurts, Josh Allen.
Yeah, we're on the clock in 2 picks.
Yeah, so let's talk about the pick first, and then we'll get into what I was going to say.
Ramondre was the guy I was eyeing.
Wow, you're like a full, robust RB guy now, Kev. What the heck happened?
Who are you, and what have you done with Kevin?
Who is this man? So if you want to go robust RB, can't really take Jonathan Taylor right now. Britt's guy, Jahmyr Gibbs is there, and even I would consider Gibbs here. There goes Gibbs. Okay, so I've got a guy that I want here. The top 3 wide receivers left are Amari Cooper, Deebo Samuel, DJ Moore. Then you got Travis Etienne, Joe Mixon. After that, you go tier down to like Christian Watson, Najee Harris. So what would you guys be doing here?
I would take Cooper.
I don't even mind Etienne here, honestly. It's a different texture on
Cooper or Etienne, Britt. I like
it
Cooper.
Doesn't matter.
Like
Go for it. 2 out of 3. Maybe we can get Etienne on the turn.
Right. Well, the thing is, the first 2 guys took wide receivers. I mean.
Yeah, but how many times have we seen triple receiver stacks in these formats?
Is Hilo, Kev, you said you're familiar with this guy Hilo. Is he a 0 RB guy?
He mixes up. He mixes up. Like he'll just do different shit.
Yeah. He took Deebo. This is the one format where I don't mind Deebo just because the nature of the way he plays is such a best ball style of play. Where in any given game, he could have a 45-yard receiving touchdown and a 25-yard rushing touchdown. right? It's so hard to know when he's going to do that. But in best ball, you don't have to think about it, right?
That's 3-4 DJ Moore Field's turn is like a throwback to like May best ball drafts, by the way.
So we got our guy Travis Etienne if we want him here.
Yeah, I'm good with Etienne if you guys are.
Game doesn't have to be hard. The game doesn't have to be hard. So I just updated an article, not only updated, but updated and upgraded an article we did in July. We do it every year. The comparing Vegas odds to ADP. That if it's not up yet, it will be up today. And yeah, so it's up now. And I added what I did with this one. Last time we just looked at yards. This time I put in yards, receptions, and touchdowns. And so it's all the people that have all three of the lines. And I translated it to PPR points because that's what PPR is, right? So translate it to PPR points and then compare that to ADP. And I will say there's some outliers for sure. One of the big ones is Calvin Ridley. The Vegas lines for him don't really line up as much with where he's actually going. You know, they have him set at under 200 fantasy points, and he's going pick 32. Whereas guys like Amari Cooper, Keenan Allen going pick 40. They have ahead. They have DK Metcalf had. Yeah, it doesn't quite add up for Ridley. It has me a little bit worried, but again, we know what the bet is with Ridley. You're betting that the high variance, right? That's what you're looking for. So I don't know. What do you guys think? Calvin, would you rather have Keenan if it was the board was Amari Cooper, Keenan Allen, Calvin Ridley? Who are you taking?
I would like Keenan Allen, I think, a little bit over Ridley.
Same.
But just by a smidge. And that's just because of how Kellen Moore has been utilizing him in practice. But man, it's really close for me.
Yeah, I'm Allen over Ridley. I just think, in an NFL and a fantasy landscape where we say safety doesn't exist, I guess Keenan Allen is about as safe as it gets when you're talking about an insulated role that he's not going to lose it. That offense is going to be high flying with Justin Herbert and all the weapons around him. Not that Jacksonville isn't an ascending offense, but I think there's just more variables and more outs to Calvin Ridley just being okay versus Keenan Allen. I think is kind of locked into at least 125, 130 targets.
Yeah. So I want to give people an example of this, what this looks like. We're going to jump back over the draft in 1 second, but here's basically what we got going on. And I pulled all the basically came up with a PPR number based on DraftKings Sportsbook and ADP. And if you look at it, like Devontae Adams there, the rank based on where his lines are set would be 4, and ADP he's 10. So that's a guy where the books and the experts of all experts, they're going a lot higher than you would imagine. So that's why I'm moving certain guys up and moving other guys like AJ Brown a little bit down. What are your guys' thoughts on that?
I mean, sorry, there's a fly in here. Kevin, what do you think?
I mean, I look at the big example was Ayuk over Debo as far as how the market, is really shifting, with how they perceive that offense, at least in particular, is going to be. And plus the whole Debo, I think John mentioned it on our flag plant, that was 2 years ago when we were talking about Debo's rushing upside. It's still being baked into stuff like that. So I think that's definitely things you can use to your advantage when you're looking at, PPR value, what you can kind of expect and project throughout the year. Because they're much smarter than we are. I mean, let's make that obvious.
The thing with the lines too is that they're just more reasonable. They're more they're the middle ground, right? They're hammered out by people betting on both sides, by what the sentiment thinks and what sharp gamers think, what people are willing to bet. So when I look at them setting Devontae Adams at 1,300 yards and Underdog with their higher or lower having him set at 1,050, I don't know. It just scares me. It scares me off it a little bit. We're coming up back on the clock here. Best available players at this particular moment.
I got one.
Oh, you do?
Look, we saw him practicing with a cast, but
JSN right now.
That is still way too rich for me.
Got to take a swing.
We got Aaron Jones, Jerry Jeudy, Darren Waller, Madison. I think we can get JSN on the way back, honestly.
Yeah.
I don't think we can.
I guarantee we can.
Okay.
I'll Venmo you. We're taking Darren Waller. I'll Venmo you $5 if we don't get JSN on the way back. He's a broken wrist.
And I still think that's too rich with the amount of 12 personnel that Seattle runs and being behind Lockett. And
we gotta let Kev sprinkle some flavor on.
I'm not saying we can't take him. I'm just saying my opinion. Like, is that okay that I can say my opinion?
That's fair. That's fair.
Of course.
No, of course you can say your opinion. I'm just saying my opinion is the same as yours, Britt. I think that he's gonna have a limited snap share, at least especially early on. I mean, he's hurt, but I think Lockett and Metcalf are dialed in. But again, this is a shared team, and we got to let Kev say his piece. So what do you think, Kev?
Well, I'm just thinking structurally, we've taken a lot of swings at running back and at tight end, and the opportunity cost of taking those guys is that we really have to make it up at wide receiver now. So taking a bigger swing with a guy like JSN was, for me, that's my opinion.
Boom.
So the guy I would have taken, Mike Evans just went. So I'm cool with this. Britt, let me ask you, we're going to take JSN, but the other options were Jeudy, Gabe Davis, Marquise Brown, Jordan Addison, Michael Pittman, Zay Flowers, Quentin Johnston. I don't know. What are your thoughts? Where would you have preferred one of those other guys?
I still would have taken Jordan or Addison or Jeudy or Addison over JSN. Judy's not going to be on short-term IR. He's going to be back sooner rather than later. It's going to take JSN a couple of weeks to get acclimated to the offense, even if he does end up supplanting one of those other two wide receivers. So I just think that Jeudy has a better long-term outlook and honestly a higher ceiling. But
I think that's pretty reasonable. Sure. To be perfectly honest, right now, I'm just not taking a ton of Jeudy, and maybe in a format like this is where you should take him, where the end of the season is so important that it's almost like you just forget the short-term injuries. But I just worry with like soft tissue injury for Jeudy that who knows, it is definitely, it makes me feel a lot better they didn't put him on IR. But like with Keenan Allen, they kept saying he was going to be back every week for like 10 weeks.
Yeah, but Keenan Allen's also quite a bit older than Jeudy too.
That's true.
And I wonder how many of these hamstring injuries that we've seen in the off-season training camp are due to heat-related issues, because it has been hot literally everywhere. Like, it's been bad and brutal. So I just wonder how much of that is like, oh, you got too hot and you cramped up and it turned into an injury, rather than, oh, this is actually an injury that's going to linger.
Well, speaking of which, Chris Sellers, make sure you're staying hydrated out on the road then while you're delivering mail today. Britt, look at Britt hydrating right now. That's the way to be. Make sure you keep those hammies loose for the rest of this draft.
Yeah, Mountain Dew's super hydrating.
You got to do it up, dude.
I do have some water here too, but the caffeine and sugar is necessary.
I've turned into a big water guy. I've probably drank more water in the last 2 weeks than I had in the last 2 years. Like, I'm not even hyperbole.
The caffeine is necessary for yelling at me when I talk over you when you're trying to just say why you don't like JSN. So that's the that's what the gamer fuel is for, right, Britt?
Yep, exactly.
Someone needs to hear. I'm gonna drink some coffee so I can fight back.
It's just Sellers has 5 liters of water. He is the water champion.
Attaboy, dude. He's a hydro homie.
And Dustin in the chat saying Treylon Burks is probably in the medical tent. Dude, he's back at practice.
Mods, get him out.
Yeah, you're in timeout, dude.
You're in timeout. Let's go.
Mods,
put him in the blue tent.
This is a safe space for certain players. We don't even I don't slander Evan Ingram here. He's been safe. Kev, who are some of your players that you consider this a safe space for? You still back in Trey Lance, or are we allowed to slander him now?
Trey Lance is he's get him.
Can we just talk about the number of people that overreacted immediately after that draft, saying that Dak was toast and that Lance was going to start over Dak? Can we just talk about how nonsensical and just crazy that was?
Yeah, insanity, man. I truly hope that they don't get cute with like the goal line offense, take some hill stuff. I just don't want to see it. I don't want to see it. Dak can do anything that Trey Lance can do right now. Dak can do.
Mm-hmm.
No question. Speaking of quarterbacks, I gotta ask. We're gonna take one at some point. So we're looking at Trevor Lawrence, Deshaun Watson, Tua, Anthony Richardson, Dak Prescott, Daniel Jones. I mean, Kirk, Geno. There's plenty of guys out there, man.
I kind of like the Lawrence paired with ETN because I think ETN's going to get a lot more of the pass work, and that Bigsby's going to sneak in there and take. Oh well, never mind. He just went.
Miles Sanders still on the board, everyone's favorite. Yeah, there's a lot of running backs still. We thought that people were going to eventually pivot to running backs, and they kind of haven't yet. So there's a ton of running backs I like. Miles Sanders, James Conner, Alvin Kamara. Are you guys still on Rashad White? This Sean Tucker stuff has me a little shook.
I'm in and out. Like, it depends on the build. It depends on structure. But we're up here in who are the top wide receivers? Because we really need to make that.
We do. Marquise Brown. So Marquise Brown's another one that article. If you look at the stats that like Underdog's stat lines would project, Marquise Brown's another one that's being underdrafted. Marquise Brown, Michael Thomas, Rashad Bateman, Treylon Burks, all guys I would like. You guys, I don't care which of those four guys we pick.
I like Brown or Bateman.
You know what I'm going to say.
Burks. Let's take Bateman here, and then on the way back, we'll see who comes back. And I'm down to take any one of Marquise Brown, Michael Thomas, Treylon Burks. There's also Kadarius Toney, who I'm just out on at this point.
It's too much of a committee situation, and he's been hurt too much.
We've Romeo Doubs, Odell Beckham, and then it's like Tyler Boyd and Juju, which I don't want to go there yet. So
yeah, and I have guys lower than them in ADP that I like better than them anyway.
I'm starting to come around on Juju, man. John and Pemba pointed out that Bill O'Brien's been straight up just showing clips of the 2011 offense, which the 2011 Patriots offense, one of the best of all time. 2007 and 2011, two all-time great offenses. And the 2011,
that's the only DVD they have.
Bill O'Brien's still just showing old, along like a camera phone too.
It's like when you have a TV on in like a restaurant and they only have just open, they have like one DVD.
So we're on the clock here. We got Michael Thomas or Treylon Burks. Burks.
Let's go Burks.
Yeah, let's do it. See, look at I'm being a good sport here. So
yeah, these are the swings that we have to take since we took basically we went anchor wide receiver, modified anchor, bimodal. Throw out all the buzzwords you want with what every draft strategy is called.
Yeah,
I guess.
What I was getting to is that Bill O'Brien he's been showing them that offense. What that offense was obviously Tom Brady was the biggest part of the equation, but Rob Gronkowski was the tight end 1 in fantasy. Aaron Hernandez was the tight end 3 in fantasy, and Wes Welker got 173 targets. So pretty clear they're trying to build like a Dr. Thunder version of that offense with Mac Jones, Hunter Henry, Mike Gesicki, and Juju. So it kind of has me intrigued in Juju, especially in full PPR. I'm not saying he's going to be Wes Welker, but he doesn't, or Julian Edelman, but all he has to be is Jacoby Myers, right?
Yeah, and Myers had a good season last year. I think Myers was a little bit better at gaining yards, even though he was the quote unquote slot guy. Like Juju's yards per route run declining every single year kind of concerns me a little bit. But if you can get him at the right ADP, then I'm fine with it.
Britt,
I will never slander Kings Classic winner Jacoby Myers. I will never slander him.
What you just said, Britt, is what has me really scared as a Patriots fan, because we had Jacoby Myers and they decided to pay more. Even though it ended up being just slightly more, they decided to pay more for Juju. And it's like, if Juju isn't good, it's going to be painful that we had the guy that's familiar with everybody, that everybody likes, and then you decided to make this swap for no reason. So that does scare me. But on the flip side, the fact that they did decide to make the swap has me a little hopeful that maybe they just know what they had and they know what they're getting. So kind of interesting spot. We do got to think about QB here. Dude, Alvin Kamara, man, that in the 8th round, Alvin Kamara, he's only going to miss 3 games. That could end up being big money, right?
Yeah, I still don't understand why people are so out on him. I mean, 3 games is 3 games in a best ball format, especially with half PPR. I don't understand why he's still going so late.
Yeah. So right now we have 3 running backs, 4 wide receivers, and a tight end. Quarterback, I could wait a little bit longer on, honestly.
Well, if Watson's out there, we could get that little pairing with Cooper.
Yeah, Dak too with Pollard. We've got a lot of options.
Yeah, but Pollard only caught 39 balls last year.
Like, in this range, if you really want to play that game, in this range, we could. I mean, we have Chubb and Amari Cooper, so Watson, we just be full on Browns offense. We could pair. What was the one you said before? We could pair Waller. We could pair Waller with Daniel Jones. We could pair.
He's gone. Jones is gone.
We could pair JSN with Geno Smith. Like there's a lot of correlation available to us, right? Mm-hmm. Tony Pollard with Dak. Like the correlation is coming out of our ears at this point. Can't miss.
We've got some cover here with the first 2 here, and then we have to worry about the guy right ahead of us for quarterback. But if not, I'm fine with Watson if you guys are.
Britt?
I'm good with Watson.
It's way after ADP.
So it's decided. Watson, Anthony Richardson, double tap.
Who says
I'm
no?
cool with that.
Who says no?
No, I am cool with that.
$3
y'all
million
know my feelings on Anthony Richardson.
And then just be done at quarterback? Just not think about it?
Pretty much could.
All right. We got Watson.
That's what 88, 107. That's like 16 picks after 8. That's like round and a half.
They're listening. Do you think they're tuned in?
Mark Hilo, I'm gonna hit your DMs later.
Then if Dak's still out there, let's just grab Dak.
Still after ADP on Dak.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that's true. You want to do that right now?
I think we almost have to.
That's fine. And then we're definitely done.
They're listening.
Fuzzy Wuzzles. And that was his second QB too.
Yeah. All right, we'll wait.
I can wait.
Who's out there now?
Kirk Cousins, Geno Smith. Those guys are ADP 113 each, so they're going soon. They go right around now. Kirk Cousins, Geno Smith, Aaron Rodgers. But if we're gonna wait, then we're looking at like AJ Dillon, David Njoku, Juju Smith-Schuster.
I'd be fine with Juju if you think he's going to get the targets.
There
you go.
I mean, it gives us a little safety too in there with obviously Bateman and Burks and Jigma. I mean, like those guys, there's no guarantee those guys even play week 1, any of them. Mm-hmm. So having Juju is actually probably pretty important for what we've got going on here.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
Agreed.
If this team makes it, we're like so live with Juju. That's one argument you can make. Because he's going to be a very low advance rate guy that is going to be unique in the field if we advance in the playoff weeks.
Yeah, we just need guys to keep us afloat early. Like, what happens if JSN, Bateman, and Burks are all miss week 1? Then we have Amari Cooper and Juju,
and
Amari and JSN both have bye week 5. So we need Burks and Bateman. I don't know what the heck is going on with that foot, man. They keep saying that they're hopeful and he's fine, but I haven't seen him. I haven't seen none of the Ravens played in the preseason. Mark Andrews didn't play a snap. Odell didn't play a snap. Bateman didn't play a snap. Like, I don't know what the heck's going on. We didn't really get a good look at this new Todd Monken offense, did we?
No, they're being super, super secretive.
KGB.
It's going to make a fun target report in week 1 when we see what happens with this offense. No, it really is. I'm excited actually about.
Yeah, I love that
how
too.
That's gonna some of these offenses that have. I mean, look, in preseason they're not going to show their full hand. Like that's just not what happens. So we're really going to get to look and see what these offenses are doing. And Baltimore is like the one, and I'm very excited about to see how that plays out in week 1.
Same goes with my snap count article. It's like some teams, it's like a huge write-up, and then some teams you're just like, the Bengals the Bengals started their starters like the whole game.
So same with the Vikings.
Yeah, the Vikings. They get the same guys played. Easy enough. The best was Ron Rivera back with the Panthers. Those guys used to all play 90% of the snaps every week, the same 11 dudes. That was straight copy and paste. article.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
It was
Ravens
on the flip side of that. I actually wonder if the Ravens are going to be just a little bit more difficult. I know that doing Georgia's football projections, which is where Todd Monken came from, was infuriating because nobody had a consistent target share from week to week. And it was just very difficult to figure out who was going to be the guy in that offense.
Yeah, and that's the other part is before the Ravens snaps were all over the place. Only one wide receiver at times would play 60% of the snaps, but at least you knew where the targets were going because they would use Patrick Ricard for so many snaps and Nick Boyle that it was like super consolidated. Now Patrick Ricard is reportedly working out with alignment. So those days are kind of gone. Supposedly it's gonna be 3 wide receiver sets and the whole deal. We're coming up. Oh, Kincaid went. I was actually thinking about doing a little Waller Kincaid caller a day.
Well, they both have the same bye week, so
I have one name. I have one name. I don't see him on the board.
What's the name?
I can't tell you until this guy picks.
Okay, well, so
Mingo
is available, and the next 3 options are Adam Thielen, KJ Osborne, Mingo. So
I like Mingo.
I also like Alec Pierce in this range. What happened here at quarterback?
He is like the last of a tier for me, and then it's like
so Geno went. We got Aaron Rodgers, Russell Wilson, Derek Carr, Jordan Love, Kenny Pickett, Brock Purdy. If we're just going to take 2 quarterbacks, I would like for us to get one of Rodgers, Wilson, Carr, or Purdy.
What about
I love Rodgers.
Bryce Young?
No.
What about him?
No.
No.
That offense looks horrid.
If we're gonna take 3,
but yet we're taking Miles Sanders at like pick 55.
If we're gonna take
we
3,
didn't take Miles Sanders.
No, I know, but
we are in general. If we're gonna take 3 quarterbacks, then I'm down with it. If this were me drafting right now, I would take Raheem Mostert or Kenneth Gainwell. We're on the clock. Mostert, Gainwell.
I think I like Mostert.
Britt?
I have no problem.
I think we're going to lose out on quarterback if we don't go Wilson here. I think it's going to be gross if we don't go quarterback, but that's just
go with either.
Britt's right. She's right.
Running back, we're probably taking one more anyway with our investment in the first 3-4 rounds.
Britt, you're right. You're smart. Though I will say, Britt, I've been thinking a lot about that draft that we hosted the other day, the $5,000 entry draft, and that guy that waited forever at quarterback and took 3. I think his team looks pretty good at the end of the day.
Yeah, but this is a totally different platform.
Totally different. Yeah. Different
and
platform.
And that's another good lesson in knowing which platform you're drafting on, knowing how these drafts go. And that's why you need to practice these drafts and use the Underdog promo code ALARM so that you have free money so that you can practice these drafts.
Yeah, that's why Underdog is my favorite. It is very aesthetically pleasing. Promo code ALARM for those that are not signed up yet. If you use it, they'll match 100% of your deposit up to $100, and then you can be one of the beautiful people drafting with us. We're doing a draft with Fantasy Alarm members tomorrow, 2 to 3 p.m. Eastern time. So you can get in, hang out with us, and draft some superstar teams just like this one. You might not realize it, but you guys are actually watching us in the process of winning $3 million. And we're going to come back here and we're going to clip this and we're going to say, told you so, when that happens. So
Coop's going to clip it from his yacht.
From the yacht, dude.
That he rented.
I'm not even going to clip it myself, dude. I'm just going to be sitting back with a margarita in my hand and be like, I'll turn to Kev and Kev will be like, did we ever clip that thing? And I'll be like,
it's not our job anymore.
Butler, clip it, right? Butler. And then like a bunch of, sellers will be there. Britt will be lying back. Sellers will be feeding her grapes, like whatever rich people do. I honestly don't hang out with enough rich people to know exactly what they do, but that's what I imagine it's like. Britt, is that what you'd probably be doing?
I would be popping champagne and probably being obnoxious and spraying it all over people because we got money to burn, baby.
Well, you got to be obnoxious. I said that the other day.
Well, Marvin Mimosa.
Ooh,
ding,
now we got to get him. He already went.
No, he already went.
He's gone. He was gone before.
He's getting
Mingo.
Steamed.
So that guy's gonna be.
I'm sorry for that because feel partially responsible. I feel like I'm partially responsible for the Jalen Warren Underdogs team and the Marvin Mims. So I have a hand in that.
I'm surprised Brock Purdy's ADP. I moved him up to like QB 18, to be honest. Like,
Really?
Yeah, he has not gone up. Like,
he hasn't moved up.
It's kind of surprising, honestly. I know in the one thing I will think is that a lot of like the big, like the grinders, like for like Best Ball Mania and like some of that stuff, most of them are done. Like they've maxed it out. So there's not as many drafts going on. So there's not as much ADP movement because a lot of the field is not drafting right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, did I dream this, or did Brock Purdy just like rattle off like 7 straight wins and have at least 2 touchdown passes in every game? Like, did that happen, or did I dream that? Because if that is what actually happened, and this guy is going to be the quarterback for that team again, I don't see why he couldn't do something very similar.
Because now people have film on him.
The film,
Antler
the dreaded
Rice,
film. It's
Antler
true.
Rice has the film. He just took him 2 picks ago.
Do you think Brock Purdy's got some like tell where he just like he squints his eyes if he's throwing it, and
is that the Colt McCoy point?
He itches his nose. I mean,
that's
possible.
why I got cut.
The Colt McCoy point.
Yeah.
Did you ever hear that story of the
got to be Dulcich, right?
Y'all know what we have to do here.
Yep, it's time. Is it Dulcich? That's what we're doing.
Yes.
Hondo.
Right. I'm taking.
Which is crazy that he's fallen so much.
The FUD, the fear, uncertainty, and doubt, and Greg Dulcich has jumped the shark. I'm sorry.
We need running backs, guys.
Yeah, we got a ton down here.
Jeff
the last
Wilson?
rounds. I'm good with Wilson. I actually like Wilson, especially now that we know that Miami is JT free.
The bags are still intact. Jeff Wilson and Raheem Mostert bags.
Yeah. I will put a caveat. There's still a chance that he could be traded before Halloween, but I don't know.
Who the heck is trading for Jeff Wilson?
No,
not for Jeff Wilson, for Taylor.
Oh, for Taylor. Oh, okay. Who in that? I was going to say.
You see like a Packers.
I thought you said Jeff Wilson could be traded. I was like, who in their right mind is trading for Jeff Wilson?
Right.
Shanahan and McDaniel just trading Jeff Wilson back and forth.
It's not 2022 trading Jeff Wilson. Yeah, I think Jeff Wilson. Yeah, easiest pick on the board. By the way, Green Bay reportedly the mystery team, continuing the Brian Gutekunst theme of being in on players but never actually making decent moves to acquire anybody. We're in on them, but we're not going to get them.
Yep.
We taking Jeff Wilson. Should we take other Jeff Wilson too with Gus Edwards, or should we? I'm throwing some guys in the queue here for later. I think
we have like one running back max.
I know there might be spies. Listening, but
just put it in the chat.
I just put some guys in the queue. Now there's nobody's freaking listening to this. I threw Sean Tucker, Deion Jackson, Rico Dowdle. Those are all names. Gus Edwards. They're names of players that are in the NFL.
Deion's the clubhouse leader, by the way.
I like him.
I don't know. I heard yesterday that Zach Moss could be back for week 1, and if he is, he's the. I'm just telling you what I heard. What's been reported that if he comes back week 1, and there is a chance because it has been close to that 6-week mark, that he will be the starter over Deion Jackson.
Fake news.
Don't boo me.
Fake news.
Zach Moss's bags are packed full of dust.
Where'd you read that? Breitbart?
Jesus. Why do I even bother?
I'm kidding, Brett. I did hear the same thing. I just don't want it to be true. I'm doing fantasy wishing. That's why I'm.
I'm sorry, Breitbart got me.
I'm booing it out of. This is like the equivalent of like when you go on Reddit and you read something that's a fact and you just downvote it because you don't want it to be true. That's what I'm doing with this Zach Moss news. Did it work, Britt? Did I boo it into not being true?
No. It's
still true. I know. I still like Deion Jackson though. He's got the pass catching chops.
So does Zach Moss.
Does he though?
Yeah. Does he? Anyway, whatever.
Whatever is right. We're in the whatever range of
because Taysom
RBs.
Yeah.
Taysom Hill scares me from the sense of like could be annoying for Derek Carr. Could be annoying for Derek Carr when they get down there. It's like every last touchdown matters. I don't want Taysom Hill doing anything at all. I hate him.
That's why I think that he bulked up in the offseason. Like, have you seen the pictures of Derek Carr from the end of last year to now, like he's been getting in that creatine, bro.
So he can fight Taysom Hill?
Basically. I think
who would win in a fight?
Having like that extra added weight in the goal line opportunities could probably help him and keep Taysom Hill out of there. So wouldn't surprise me if that's actually like the metaphorical fight going on.
So Derek Carr is 6'3", 215. If what Britt says is true,
so is Donald Trump, by the way.
220. Yeah. Yeah, Donald Trump, Derek Carr. When did this become a political podcast?
We're on the clock, almost on the clock.
Well, I'm kind of doing something. Taysom Hill Taysom Hill. Oh, we're on the clock now?
Yeah.
No, we're not on the clock yet.
On deck in 13 seconds. Oh, we're on
the clock. Taysom Hill 6'2", 221. So that's pretty. There's no size advantage. Ooh, Chiga Conquo? 3 tight end builds with Waller? That might be too many tight ends.
I don't know if you're accounting for injury.
I'd rather have that than a dart throw running back or wide receiver.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's take. Oh, Michael Wilson though.
No,
take on the rap.
I love Michael.
Take on the rap. He won't be. Dude, he'll be there.
No way does he get past if Mark the Shark high-low. If he's as plugged into the best ball community as in the Twitter hype as you say, then he will be taking. He'll be taking Michael Wilson here with his next pick. Yes, Scamp. We know we have Burks. We're going to take Ryan Tannehill too.
Probably. We probably should because there's a lot of risk in this build.
I'm okay with it. Correlate it.
3 tight end, 3 quarterback builds.
We are telling a story.
How we can explain that? Titans. How we can explain that to Pete Overzet?
I don't know who just got taken.
Michael. So the guys that went are Conklin, Devontae Parker, Justin Ross, Deuce Vaughn. So we can take any of the people we mentioned. Michael Wilson's there. Ryan Tannehill is.
If you want Wilson, I hate it. But
on the next pick,
Michael Wilson, rookie Cardinal.
Hit that scroll, Coop.
Rookie Cardinal wide receiver. Doesn't that have a nice ring to it?
I'm still a Greg Dortch slappy. I can't help it.
Greg Dortch, short king summer. Munchkin, dude.
You can't say Munchkin.
Fine.
Short king summer.
Michael Wilson has 30 pounds and 4 inches on Hollywood Brown. Do we have Hollywood Brown too? No, we didn't get.
No.
He's on Hollywood Brown, Rondell Moore, and Greg Dortch. He's just a giant, towering over those guys. You know?
So is Zach Pascal.
Yeah.
Back to what we're talking about. Taysom Hill, no size advantage for Taysom Hill or Derek Carr. I don't know why, but my heart says Taysom Hill wins that fight. What do you guys think?
I don't know. I think Derek Carr's eyebrows and eyeliner win it. It's the intimidation factor.
You know, he does look like he could.
Are we talking about Derek Carr or Jake Haener? Jake Haener is. Those pictures that he took in like
you can't throw another a third party into the fight here.
That's how wrestling. Do you not know how wrestling works?
Special guest referee. No,
this is
tag team partner.
Haener would get snapped in half.
Taysom and Jimmy Graham versus Derek Carr and Jake Haener. Main event in any arena.
The only way I would watch that is if it was celebrity death match.
Yeah. Haener doesn't have a sturdy enough neck for this fight. I think that if it goes to the ground, then
sturdy neck.
If it goes to the ground, Taysom's got this. It's not even close.
Taysom.
Purdy needs to land a shot. One shot.
So isn't he a BYU guy? Isn't Taysom Hill a BYU guy? I think I'd take Carr. Honestly.
He does got that emo vibe, like he could just snap on you at any moment, dude.
That's
like
seeing
Taysom
him
Hill
like
feels like
his
he's
angry
like
pictures.
Nice. Not that Derek Carr isn't, but he looks like Robb Stark from Game of Thrones. So,
all right,
I feel like he's got a little bit of that going.
You sold me. It's Carr. Wow, he does look yoked this year.
Yeah, he's gained a lot of muscle.
And he's showing it off too. He's got the sleeves rolled up on the jersey.
Mm-hmm. He's making it a point.
You live next to Devontae Adams for 1 year and see what happens.
Big time. All right, so we have. All right, here's what we got. We have 2 selections left. Right now, we have 2 quarterbacks, 4 running backs, 6 wide receivers, and 3 tight ends. So we're definitely done at tight end. We need another running back here, but there's plenty of guys I like. And then with the last pick, either quarterback or wide receiver. The running backs left, we're looking at Zamir White, who is not as sexy now that Josh Jacobs is going to play. Gus Edwards, Donta Foreman, Jerome. I'm just going to go with the guys that I would consider taking, which would be Gus Edwards, Jerome Ford, Deion Jackson, Zach Moss, Sean Tucker, Rico Dowdle.
I'm totally down with Sean Tucker. I know that there are some questions, like Scott Frankel pointed out in the chat, with the loss of Ryan Jensen, but Tucker was a great prospect. He only fell out because of that medical issue.
Right.
And Rachaad White wasn't exactly efficient at his rushing attempts last year. So
yeah, I like him or Deion Jackson. I would have liked actually Kyron Williams is going to be my one kind of dart throw there because he's getting a lot of steam as a possible pass catcher in that offense, in an offense that desperately needs him outside of Cooper Kupp.
And they held him out. Every game that they held out Cam Akers, they held out.
He is like as locked in as what a running back too. Yeah. Like, and it's funny because we thought that was going to be so ambiguous with other guys. They kept Zach Evans and Ronnie Rivers, so and those two are no roadblocks. So I think Kyron Williams is so locked in.
So high-low, as I say, we take Sean Tucker here, and then if he's there, Tannehill on the way back. I don't think Fuzzy Wuzzles has 2 QB. High-low has 3 QBs. Fuzzy Wuzzles could take Tannehill here, which would be annoying. If he takes Tannehill, then what do we want to do?
Just dart throw it again.
Probably a wide receiver.
Wide receivers are Darius Slayton.
Was Wandale out there? I do like that he's not going to go on PUP.
Yeah, Wandale's there.
I think
I have so much Wandale
upside guy.
But there's so many slot receivers in New York.
I know.
Draft capital. That's why I look too.
Yeah, Jalen Hyatt has the same.
Honestly, there's like Claypool, Mechie.
They're all dart throws at this point.
Deontay Hardy, dude. What?
It's fine. We're gonna get Tannehill, and then we don't even have to worry about it.
Deontay Hardy did he have 4 receptions last year?
And then the tight end, honestly, or the quarterback, honestly.
No, we're taking Tannehill.
Okay.
Or do you want to do it? We have a lot of injured wide receivers.
I'd just say get the numbers. I think Wilson and
Britt make the call. Wandale
are a pretty good combo.
I'm not making the call. You guys decide.
Kev, right now, Wandale or Tannehill, you make a call.
Wandale.
It's done.
I think we're still strong at quarterback with the 2.
Yeah.
We're banking a lot on the training camp reports about Watson to not be true and for Wilson to actually be good with Sean Payton.
We're mega Browns fans.
And Titans fans.
We could have just been the biggest Titans fans ever. The biggest Browns Titans fans ever.
Guys, look. Close your eyes. It's week 17. The Broncos are playing the Chargers in a shootout. You guys aren't closing your eyes. That's fine.
Russell Wilson. I'll fall asleep.
Russell Wilson has thrown his 3rd touchdown of the day to Greg Dulcich. 12 catches, 145 yards, 3 touchdowns. Puts us over the top. We are going to be freaking sipping martinis and drinking margaritas and bossing around butlers on our rented yacht because we cannot buy a yacht for $3 million.
But we can join one of those like clubs where you get to use it for like a weekend.
Get like a yacht timeshare.
The Bezos yacht rental.
Our Browns are playing the Jets on that Thursday night.
They are our Browns, and then our Titans also. I don't know if you guys heard or do play the Texans in week 17 and 15.
Thursday night Browns Jets game.
Our Browns, our Titans. If there's anything more that makes you feel better about a best ball team, I want to hear it.
They're doing games on Christmas this year?
I think there's 2.
Yeah. That's awesome. That's a Friday night.
Yep.
Let's go.
Thanksgiving
too.
Why I couldn't go to my grandparents last year. Had to watch football.
Yeah.
For shame. That game last year, that was last year, the Patrick Starr game. Yeah, it was. That was amazing.
Christmas you guys watch Raiders, Chiefs, Giants, Eagles, Ravens, Niners, and then the Packers, Lions on Thanksgiving, Commanders, Cowboys, Niners, Seahawks. So at least you get the main event early.
Yeah. Don't hate
There it is, folks. There it is. A super fragile build in every possible way, right? You go heavy, 3 RBs right off the bat, which is fragile. You draft Darren Waller, who is fragile himself. You draft 3 wide receivers back to back to back in JSN, Bateman, Burks that might not even play to start the season. And then you fill it out with a bunch of scrubs. So that
calling Greg Dulcich a scrub.
Sorry, I
calling Jeff Wilson a scrub.
I meant after Russell Wilson and Greg Dulcich. Then it's yeah. Sorry, I am calling Greg Dulcich a scrub. Yeah, so this could be the one. I would be surprised if somebody else has this exact same team.
We did go out on a limb for a couple of things.
I would be shocked. I would be shocked if someone.
We are either winning the $3 million. We're either winning the $1 million, or we are the lowest scoring team in Best Ball Mania 4.
Which is fine.
There is no in between.
There is no in between.
Not for this team. We're probably gonna be the lowest scoring team through the first 4 weeks. Or 5 weeks actually, because our entire team goes on bye week 5. So, but week 6, that's when we start making the money.
Well, and I think there are so many teams that have a week 13 bye that's really going to affect a ton of teams. We could be behind going up until then. And depending on how many week 13 players are on those teams ahead of us, we've got a chance of moving up. Because I have seen it happen before in those week 13 and 14 buys, which are just brutal, by the way. Can we get rid of those? I hate them.
Dude, and the craziest part is that when they asked Goodell about it, he straight up said, we didn't even think about fantasy football. And I was like, are you kidding me?
The thing that makes you the most money and gets the most eyes on your sport.
Dumb and stupid. And why? It'd be one thing, right? It'd be one thing if they were all spread out, the bye weeks, and that's how they were doing it. But there's no bye weeks week 8, and there's no bye weeks week 12. Why, if you have weeks 8 and 12 wide open, why put 2 teams on week 14? What are we doing?
Because they're stupid and they hate us.
Well, folks in the chat, we love you. We got a question here we're going to answer. I got offered Diggs for Waddle and Mike Williams. What do you guys think?
Well, first I want to know if it's Dynasty or if it's a redraft. Because although I'm assuming that it's Dynasty, but I have seen trades in redraft as well.
If it's redraft, if it's redraft and Waddle and Mike Williams both go directly into my lineup, then I smash accept that trade.
Yeah.
Well, I think he would be trading away Waddle and Mike Williams.
Yeah, no, you don't.
He's got Waddle and Williams, so he got offered Diggs. I probably wouldn't be taking
if it's if you're getting Waddle and Williams and they're both going in your lineup, I would break the screen on my phone accepting that trade. If the only circumstance maybe is if it's a league where you only start 2 wide receivers, then maybe you'd want Diggs. But dude, Waddle could outscore Diggs straight up.
Right.
Yeah, I think so too.
I think he absolutely.
And Mike Williams for free.
And has Kellen Moore, who loves his wide receiver twos.
Yeah, got another question here. Carlos says that number 6 pick is risky. Depends who you are. If you're Britt Flynn, then it's not. Because Britt, you're getting Bijan there a lot, and you feel real good about that. And in this draft, Bijan went exactly 6, and so you don't mind that at all, right?
No, not at all. I think that Bijan has RB1 overall upside. And again, we've talked about this all the time. In a tournament situation, you've got to differentiate yourself. And if Bijan does go off, like we're all thinking that he's going to, taking him over Eckler, who does have a different offensive coordinator now, it could be the difference maker.
Right.
I don't know if they're talking about our number 6 pick, though, was it Waller?
JSN.
Our number 6 pick he has if you're talking about our number 6 pick, then he has a broken wrist. So,
but he has absolute tournament winning upside as well.
So
and a much bullish timeline as far as his breaking his wrist.
Let me ask
by the way, credit to Dr. Edwin Porras, by the way, for
love Edwin Porras.
Yeah.
I love that. The thing I love about Edwin Porras is that he is willing to wait and think about it a little bit and then tweet out what he's thinking. Whereas I feel like a lot of the other medical professionals on Twitter, you you have to do what your people want. But I feel like they care so much about being first, right? And doing a video and everything immediately that sometimes you get like 5 videos from the same person that's like, here's what I think, and then this, and then that, and then you have to find the right video where they actually know what it is. Versus Edwin, I just feel like when I get the info from him, it's really well thought out, and he's also willing to say when he doesn't know too, which I appreciate that too. He's like, hey, by the way, like a hamstring is a bundle of like 8 muscles, and there's no way for me to just give you the exact timeline. Like I appreciate that he's honest with that stuff too. So shout out Edwin, he's a beast.
Yeah, there were people speculating on how long JSN would be out before he even had surgery or saw the doctor. Like
crazy.
You gotta wait for the surgery to happen first.
But how are you going to be first if you wait?
Right.
That's catch-22. Yeah.
And
so anyway,
oh, sorry.
I just want to say, folks out there, thank you for joining us. Make sure use promo code ALARM. Get set up with Underdog. Go to fantasyalarm.com/underdog. If you use promo code ALARM, they'll match 100% of your deposit up to $100, and then you can get in drafts with us. You can get on the yacht with us, win that $3 million, $4 million if you win the regular season as well. So get up in there and get that done. Promo code ALARM. Everybody else, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it. We've got lots of content coming on this site and on our website. The draft guide's available now. There's basically 3 ways to get all the info you need for your draft, just to cut right to the point and get the info you need. If you get the All Pro membership right now, it's 40% off for the annual. So what it costs you for the NFL season, you get the entire year. All the dynasty stuff for football, baseball, basketball, hockey, NASCAR, CSGO, esports, PGA, literally all of it. We have the best NASCAR writer in the world. 3-time championship. If I was a 3-time writer of the year in anything, if I got 3 awards for anything, you would have to mute me on Twitter. I'd be so obnoxious. Matt Sells is just a humble guy, so I will brag on his behalf, but he's the best NASCAR writer in the world. Go get that. Otherwise, you can get the draft guide, which includes all the articles for this year and the rankings and the cheat sheet. Or if you just want the cheat sheet to print out for your draft, you can get that on a standalone basis as well. That's all on fantasyalarm.com. Get that done right now so you can dominate your friends and foes in fantasy football. That's it for us, everybody. Catch you tomorrow.